Could aliens really infect us? Could human life on Earth be related to extraterrestrials?
Section 51.
Section 51.
Section 51.
Hi everyone, what's up? I am GH aka DosGeek back here with you and Section 51. Thank you again to watch this new video. For many people, aliens are a staple of science fiction. While many movies explore what would happen if alien spacecraft attacked Earth, some other movies sometimes explore the implications of aliens infecting humans. But what if science fiction gave way to reality? Could this happen to us in real life? For example, in the Marvel Universe, the famous character of Venom is usually associated with Spider-Man. Venom, who is first known as the symbiote, usually comes from space. While the origin stories vary in different iterations of the tale, in one example the symbiote was first found on the moon. We see at the beginning of the film the moment when the symbiotes are collected up by a Life Foundation space probe, which finds them on a comet drifting through space, approaching Earth. And to complicate the situation, the symbiotes are on an active hunt for good hosts. The symbiotes seem to actively want to be collected because it's all part of their plan to come to Earth. They are looking for planets where they can find hosts to inhabit. They have never really found a place where they can exist in harmony with the life forms of whatever planet they find themselves on. Symbiotes, the generic kind, not the Marvel alien race, are a common theme in space science fiction movies, with perhaps the most famous example being in the Alien franchise. And if you know me well, you must know how much I'm a fan of the Alien movies with Sigourney Weaver. From the events of the first movie, which opened in 1979, troops of space explorers in this franchise have kept coming across planets with aliens that jump into humans and quickly infect them. We talk about the face huggers. These aliens cause wild changes to human personality, biology, and other characteristics. Most famously, some of the organisms of alien burst through human chests to give birth to a new humanoid creature that thirsts for blood. Whereas in Alien 1, Ripley seems to be very careful with space quarantine when boarding Kane and Dallas, we can only see in Alien Covenant that space quarantine is not a problem anymore. Indeed, the crew from the Covenant doesn't wear any protection when landing on the unknown planet, and that was a big mistake. But let's not stray into the universe of Alien and its screenplay inconsistencies. I could talk about it for hours. Many other sci-fi films feature microbes as the attacking aliens as well. Those movies include, for example, The Astronaut's Wife, and in one of the more recent examples, 2016's Life, in which International Space Station astronauts grappled with a newly discovered Martian organism. According to the SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, institutes set Shostak, each of these microbe examples is unique, but they are all extremely unlikely. Shostak, who is the Institute's senior astronomer, pretends that bacteria that infect humans on Earth are highly adapted to our own biological systems, but only because 4 billion years of evolution link our species. Alien life, even if it is carbon-based and even if it needs water like Earth's life does, would have grown up in a different ecosystem. Even on Earth, we get diseases that your dog won't get. Only a handful of viruses can even make the jump between species, let alone between planets. They tend to be fairly species-specific. For example, you never see an elephant with a cold. Still, NASA engineers its missions to potentially life-friendly worlds with the understanding that you can never be too careful. It even has a whole planetary protection office to figure out these matters in more detail. We are talking about planetary protection protocols. After the first human moon landings 50 years ago, the Apollo program astronauts returned to Earth under quarantine. Spacecraft orbiting icy moons such as Europa and Enceladus also come under special concern. Because of the possibility of life on these worlds, the custom is to destroy dying orbiting spacecraft on even the slight chance they could crash down and contaminate any local microbe population. That's why the Galileo probe was thrown into Jupiter in 2003 and why the Cassini's craft took a mission-ending plunge into Saturn in 2017. And Mars also poses its own challenges, because the planet may have liquid water running on the surface. These features, called recurring slope lineae, may also be piles of dirt running down the slopes of craters, but it's hard to say what they are unless we get up close. Officially, scientists carefully decontaminate Mars spacecraft before they alight on the planet's surface, and the current mode of exploration is to stay as far away as possible from zones of possible liquid water. It's unclear if Mars hosts life or has in the past. So far, the only direct tests have been some troublesome NASA Viking lander experiments in the 1970s, whose results are still being debated today. Mars, however, is known to host organic molecules, the building blocks of life, frozen water at the poles and possibly liquid water underground, things that make some scientists argue that life is possible there. But Mars presents other obstacles for life to overcome. Mars is a tough environment. The high levels of radiation on the planet's surface and its extremely dusty environment are some examples of that toughness. However, there are some bacteria on Earth that could survive if they got to liquid water on Mars. In the coming decades, NASA will need to confront the possibility of Martian biology directly, being sure to avoid Earth's contamination of Mars and vice versa. NASA does eventually plan to send Mars samples back to Earth. The agency's upcoming Mars 2020 rover will cache the most promising samples it finds for a future sample return mission. NASA is also working on plans for an eventual human mission to Mars after returning to the Moon first. About Mars, Shostak from The City allowed that there are planetary protection concerns, but said in his view that those concerns might be particular to experimentation. That's not something they seem to be worried about, that suddenly Mars is going to turn into a jungle because they send a rover to Mars. According to him, it will just mess up the experiment to find any indigenous life. But what about the human race? What if the Earth was contaminated by humans? What if humans were aliens? Whether you believe in creationism or evolution, humanity's inception is the ultimate perennial question. If you dig deep enough, you may even wonder if humans are native to Earth. Dig even deeper and you may wonder if are humans a product of an alien progenitor race. In January 2015, the British publication The Express published a photo of a strange-looking microscopic rock that was shooting out biological material. Scientists speculated that the biological material could contain genetic material, the precursor of life. Several scientists expressed one theory of its origin. It was sent to Earth by some unknown civilization in order to continue seeding the planet with life. Seeding refers to a plantation of foreign organisms in a designated place, with the intent of propagating life. The rock appeared to be designed by an intelligent species. Professor Milton Wainwright from the University of Buckingham Center for Astrobiology and his team inspected and analyzed the rock and its biological contents. They theorized that it not only pointed to the existence of extraterrestrial life, but to complex and civilized beings watching our planet. Could this be true? Have aliens been seeding Earth since the beginning of time and are now watching us to see how we respond? If so, what is their purpose and why do they not make themselves known to us? In the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, scientists have noted there appears to be a missing planet. Was the asteroid belt formed by an exploding planet whose ancient civilization escaped to Earth? Could we be descendants from an alien race that previously occupied another planet? Could some of those aliens still be living among us, either unrecognized or in hiding? Perhaps the progenitors of life on Earth before humans escaped the annihilation of life on their own planet and are now hiding on Earth, watching to see if we destroy ourselves. There is a theory saying that a missing planet may be a clue. But let's get back to this question. Is human life on Earth related to extraterrestrials? Panspermia is a mechanism that allows biology to spread through space without needing a spaceship. Living matter hitches a ride on sunlight or inside rocks. Some scientists believe that Mars was indeed inhabited at one time. Some space rocks were kicked off the planet and landed in a suitably welcoming patch on Earth. Biological material from Mars that was in the rocks may spur exploration into the search for the solution to the age-old question: where do we come from and why are we here? There are several theories that relate to extraterrestrials. For example, did aliens escape from an unknown planet and come here due to dire circumstances on their home planets? Are we descendants of this race? Environmentalist and ecologist turned author Dr. Ellis Silver believes this is the case. In his book, Humans Are Not From Earth, a scientific evaluation of the evidence, Dr. Silver presents 17 reasons why humans are not suited for living on this planet. He believes these reasons indicate we originated from another planet. He says that while Earth meets some of our needs as a species, it is not as good a fit for us as much as whoever brought us here initially thought. Silver gives some examples of our unsuitability for living on Earth. For example, he states that humans do not do well with large doses of sunlight, which we receive every day. He also notes there are a large number of people in the world who have chronic backaches, which he attributed to evidence that we originated from a planet with lower gravity. He also notes that we are better programmed to exist with a 25-hour day instead of a 24-hour one. Silver suggests we may have come from Alpha Centauri. The planet may have suffered some type of cataclysmic event from which a few residents were able to escape and come to Earth. Fascinating. So, could we be descendants of refugees from Mars? Scientists and researchers believe that eons ago, humanoids inhabited Mars, but a war destroyed the livability of the planet. This could have been due to the equivalent of 2 hydrogen bombs exploding on Mars 300,000 to 1 million years ago. Is it possible some living beings were able to escape to Earth before the destruction? In 1999, a contact inside the US Defense Intelligence Agency told a reporter his job was to analyze and monitor 3 extraterrestrial groups who were and likely still are inhabiting Earth. The source said the alien species lives inside mountains, under the earth, and sea in deep caverns. The source expressed his belief that the ETs have a great deal of control over the planet and its inhabitants. He said the aliens have links to Mars, Sirius, and Zeta Reticuli 1 and 2. The aliens living on Earth look very similar to humans. They have a head, 2 eyes, a mouth, 2 legs, and 2 arms. They regularly study humans and take sperm, DNA, and other bodily samples. The aliens may be trying to manipulate human genetics in order to create artificial mutations. Is it possible we are a product of an ancient alien species that continues to study, observe, and manipulate humans for reasons we don't know? There are many deep space mysteries for which there seems to be more questions than answers, as usual. And you, where are you from? Which planet? Which galaxy? Thanks for watching. As usual, you can like and share our videos, have a look and order some of our amazing t-shirts in our Spreadshirt shop. Link is down below. And of course, subscribe to Section 51 if you are new to this planet. I'll be back really soon. Open your eyes, watch the sky, live long and prosper.